Hi, it's Adele Michael, and I am back with another Abundance Live with Adele. And I'm checking in. Today is the second week of my summer sabbatical, which I am taking because I was nearing burnout. I knew that I needed to make some deeper changes within myself, and I wasn't having very much fun. So I'm learning a lot, and I just wanted to share some of that with you, and hoping that it will pique some insights for you about how you're living and how you're working. The first surprise has been that it has not been that easy to transition into more ease. You would think, being on sabbatical and I've cleared my schedule of a lot of work. And I'm still serving current clients, but I'm not doing much marketing or administration, all the kind of things that you have to do to keep your business going. I'm not doing that for the summer. So you would think it would be kind of easy to relax into that. And what I've noticed is it's not as easy as I thought it would be. Apparently, I really like to stay busy and I really like to work. And it was burning me out because I need to rest. I need to take a nap every afternoon. Well, not every afternoon, but almost every afternoon to rejuvenate my adrenal glands because I've been in adrenal fatigue for a while. And what I've noticed is that feelings arise. Things that aren't necessarily so comfortable come up. And in the long run, of course, they help generate the change that I'm looking for. But in the moment, sometimes it's really not that easy to have those feelings. I also notice that I get bored. So I was actually feeling better and having more energy. And so yesterday I was like, just kind of bored. Bored with what I'm reading, bored that I get in the bed every afternoon. I go to bed early every night. I'm just kind of getting bored, which I think is a really good thing. My coach said, is it boredom or is it spaciousness? So that's a good way to look at it. I am working with my 92-year-old mother to help clear out her house for sale. She's doing well in assisted living, but it's time to sell the house. So that begins next week. I've hired a rented sister, an organizer who likes to do downsizing, and she's going to come and work with me a few hours every day next week. And my brother's going to come and get the furniture he wants out of the house. So that's all going ahead. And of course, that brings up a lot of feelings too. It's like, this is not the house I grew up in, but my mother's lived in it for 25 years and I've visited her there a lot. So, deconstructing all of that, deconstructing her belongings and our family memories. And do you want this crystal or do you want this china? Or it's a lot. So a lot of feelings are coming up. And because my mother does live in assisted living and I visit her quite often, I am exposed to older people who are nearing death, maybe don't have all their facilities. Maybe they do have all their facilities, but they're just old enough that they want to live in assisted living or independent living. And in fact, one of my independent living friends that I had just gotten to know over the last few months died on Sunday, and had seen him a couple of weeks ago, and he went in the hospital. He had needed surgery, and they weren't able to do it, and he died. So. Just the impermanence of life is very, very with me right now. And I am not a practicing Buddhist, but I'm reading a book by a Buddhist, Stephen Levine's A Year to Live, How to Live This Year as If It Were Your Last. And that sounds maybe a little morbid, but he is a Buddhist, and he has been working for 30 years with people with terminal diagnoses and people on death row. And the point in writing this book is to teach non-attachment to death, non-attachment to life, and non-attachment to the struggle or the suffering of dying. And through that, knowing the truth of what this life is and who we truly are. And it makes me cry. And it's such a beautiful book. And it's very inspiring. And I've really taken a lot from it. So, A Year to Live, how to live this year as if it were your last. Because, well, another reason that I'm reading it is that he talks about the fear of death, the fear of dying, and the fear of life. And I personally am not so afraid of death. I'm afraid of suffering before I die. And I noticed that I was afraid of life. You know, I've been trying to protect myself, trying to stay safe. I mean, I've had stuff happen in my life, accidents and losses, just like everybody else has. And, you know, I thought maybe the way to deal with that would be to defend myself. And I'm realizing through reading this book that that's not the way to live. So I'm opening to a more robust and more vital life. So, A Year to Live. And I think the last thing I'll leave you with, and I would like to ask you to contemplate this along with me, is how do I have more meaning in my life? As I said before, I've noticed that I am really good at busy work. I will put my ladder up against a wall and start climbing, and not asking, is this the right wall? Is this going to take me where I want to go? And so, you know, in this sabbatical, I'm looking at how can I create more meaning with the actions I take, and how can I take actions that would lead to more meaning? That may be the same question, but I want to just ask it both ways. So, will you contemplate that with me? How can I add more meaning to my life? And how can I take action that adds more meaning to my life? That's it for now. I'll check in another time, and I hope you're well, and I hope you're enjoying your summer. Oh, and many people, thank you so much for your support on taking a sabbatical. So many people wrote me and said, what a great idea. And they told me how they're adding ease and space into their summer, whether it's taking Fridays off or going to the pool with a girlfriend every Thursday. Great. So if you have some space for more ease in your life, I encourage you to create it and do it regularly. You deserve it. Talk to you next time.